Hey FLOSSTUBE, it's Leigh from Creative Leigh on Sunday 28th of February with FLOSSTUBE number 65, I think. I didn't check, but it doesn't really freaking matter, does it? It says it on the screen. Anyway, hey, welcome back. Welcome to my FLOSSTUBE channel. I never say this very well, but it's a it's a YouTube channel predominantly about cross-stitch. So we had angle today. Let me move you slightly. Welcome to my dining room again. The light's a bit weird. It's 6 o'clock on a Sunday. Technically the last day of summer, although our summer's going to really go through into March because it only really just started a few weeks ago. Yeah, welcome to level 2 lockdown. We've had as the fellow Kiwis know, a bit of a blip in the old COVID. We have, I guess to put in a global context, a couple of people who were potentially exposed to COVID and who maybe didn't stay home and isolate like they were told to, waiting for a negative test, and went out and apparently have come back now with positive tests, so have potentially spread COVID. So poor old Auckland's gone back to level 3 lockdown. Fingers crossed, just fingers crossed really, that it can get contained and we can go back to kind of semi-normal again after another week. But anyway, it's just the life we live now. It's really weird. I was lucky because at level 2 lockdown, which the rest of the country is at, we can't have gatherings exceeding 100. I went to the ballet last night with a couple of friends. We had tickets to go to one of the regional performances, what's called Tutus on Tour, which is the Royal New Zealand Ballet goes around and does sort of a short program. I think this one had 5 works, so and they go around the sort of the more regional provincial centres. So a couple of friends from work and I drove over to Paraparaumu last night, which is about an hour's drive away, and we enjoyed that. And now, of course, now we're at level 2 for the rest of the country. They can't perform. So I've got a friend who was going to go in New Plymouth on Monday night, and she's not all this, I think Monday or Tuesday, she won't be going, obviously. So that's just like unfortunate. Hopefully they can reschedule, but I don't know. It is what it is. It's just, so 6 p.m, really late for me. And then I got home from being out and about doing a whole lot of visiting and socialising. And my phone was flat, so I've had to wait for my bloody phone to get some percentage so that I can record. I do have a little bit of stitching. It's been a really weird week, given that until Friday I'd stitched on Sunday afternoon after my video of that night. I'd stitched a little bit. I'd stitched on Thursday afternoon, and until Friday, because I worked from home on Friday, so I could do a little bit in the morning, a bit at lunchtime, a little bit of stitching through a Teams call that I was just had to be on, but was more to listen. It was more of a presentation kind of meeting, not a collaboration kind of meeting. So I got a little bit of stitching done during the day, and then just stayed home Friday night and got a whole heap done. So until Friday I had hardly really stitched. So I'm like, I'm going to have nothing to show. I got a little bit to show because I went a little bit mad on Friday and Saturday and today. Actually, and I haven't even been home, so not even a little bit this morning. I had friends around yesterday before we went to the ballet, did all my housework, so I don't quite know how I got so much done, but you know me, turbo needles. A little bit of happy mail came in, so thank you, Chris from Minnesota. Sent me a lovely little card, and a lovely wee note in it, and it's such a neat card. So now I will respond, I will reply, I will send something back. However, I've got to find a card that is equal in this coolness. So I did not know that Minnesota was the land of 10,000 lakes. So I'm guessing it's not actually 10,000. It'll be like, we have 90-mile beach, but it's not 90 miles long, but it is long. And I don't know why it's in French. Étoile du Nord, the North Star. I don't know why it's in French. I have questions about this, Chris, but anyway, thank you very much. I love getting happy mail. I will not be able to send you a round stamp because I don't think we have any, but yeah, I will find an. I will always reply to people who send me happy mail. It just might not be straight away. I got my Country Stitch Fabric of the Month, which this one was like I asked for this colour, so it wasn't a mystery. So my Rainbow Club came in, which was a 32 count Belfast in the colourway Hydrangea, and that is actually a pretty good colour. So I'll show you the inside because that's usually where it's more luscious. So yeah, and I do have plans for this, and I'm going to be stitching Oriental Lady Beauty, which is a Joan Elliot. So there's the trio in her Oriental Designs, Oriental something book. But I printed them out and kind of roughly cut them out so that I could audition fabrics. I'll just show you. It's a bold choice, but I think it's going to look really lovely on that. So, and yeah. So that is that one. I've also picked out the fabric colour for the third one. So this one is Oriental Lady, what did I say? Beauty. One's Wisdom, so the Wisdom one. But I've got to start with the other one, the first one, so I will show that in a minute. So that came through, so that was kind of cool. It'll just go into the pile. And then surprise, I got a surprise, because last week I showed you my Silks for You Colour of the Month Club February 21, and I was like a little bit moany about the fact that I was a bit sick of getting purple, and I was like, please send me some blues and greens. And yesterday I was surprised to get my February, so a week later February arrived, so presumably January just got sent late, and my prayers were answered. My pleas to the universe. We got some beautiful blues, and even the variegated one is just stunning. So I'm very happy with these. I'm just very happy that it's not purple or unicorn vomit. So this one is PR145. And the other more aquary, lavendery variegated, PR039. It's quite pretty. This blue is PR051. It's actually got quite nice variegation as well, just a lot more subtle, more tonal. And the darker, close to navy, is PR069. I feel like, no, is 069 what I'm going to do my, doesn't matter. I don't know. It's beautiful though. It actually is not quite that dark. It's throwing a little dark on my screen. So I am very happy. I'm just very happy. I'm very happy that I have colours that are not purple or unicorn vomit. You know, makes me happy. So I'll just put them on my ring here. I still need to get a big floss ring, but I haven't gone anywhere near a shop that might sell them. So there's my Silks for You. So that's 6 months. 6 months? It's 6 months worth of colour of the month club. So now we're starting to get a bit of colour in here. So yeah, it is just like, it's so soft. I love it. It's like pretty, yeah. I'd much rather have this than diamonds. It's like, this is like the jewellery of the cross-stitch world. So yeah, so it's like very exciting to get that. I did not expect February to actually arrive in February. So that is the first time I've had, it's the first time I've had my silk arrive in the month that I paid for it. So, surprise. I did make a small purchase, but I started it, so I'll show that in a minute. I have put in, I decided to reward myself, I don't know what for. I put through a small, pre-order for some stuff from the Needlework Expo. There's some things that I like that I know I'll be able to get, like PDFs from the designer once they release some stuff, some small stuff that I'm like, you know. But I sort of went through Garon Stitchery, so from Gary and Ronnie, Gary from the Sunshine Stitches. So they started up a business, in the last year, retailing some stitchy supplies. So their bags from Garon, tote bags, they're not really my style. They're a bit big. I don't do Velcro. It ends up ruining my clothes because, you know, everything pulls. But they're lovely. They're just really big, and I don't stitch with Q-snaps and frames and stuff, so I don't need a bag that big. But anyway, but they've started retailing, and they kind of made it really easy to do a pre-order. And I'm not saying other shops haven't, but I guess I watched the YouTube video, they talked about it. So I went through their pre-order page on the Garon Stitchery website and picked out a few things that from a couple of designers I've never heard of before. I kind of picked out about 12 things, and then I cut it down to I think 4 charts and then a fabric dyer that I'd never heard of. But they have 4. I basically said, yeah, I'll order one each of those colours. So obviously when they come in, I'll share them. But so I've pre-ordered them, and I'll probably look at, there's probably a couple of other things that will come out. There's something like 90 something designers, and so he didn't have 90 something designers on the page, so I know there'll be other things, but it's a few things to look forward to. So a couple of nice samplers, and one little small one. I don't really remember what I took off the list. Yeah, so I'm quite excited about that. So pre-order made, and I'll worry about that later. But yeah, it's kind of cool to look forward to having some new things in the future. Yeah, so it's pretty much that. I'll show you my stitching. It's not going to be in order. Oops, sorry about the noise. I'll start with what I bought. So I decided on a whim that I mean to grab the Sense and Sensibility Sapphire from Sapphire. So the Sense and Sensibility Stitchy Book Club from Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts. That's quite a lot to say. And so part 1 release, I think it's 3 parts. It is 3 parts. So part 2 will release on the 6th of March. So that'll be the 7th here. And the 3rd part is end of March. So this is part 1. That's not part 1. I stitched part 1. So I did this on Friday. So I stitched, excuse me. I got a tickle. I stitched this, spit it out, on a bit of I stitched this during my Teams call, or mostly through my Teams call on Friday. So this is basically listening to a presentation stitching. It's pretty quick stitching. So I'm using just a piece of 28 count Ice Blue Lugana that I had. I think I bought it from a D-stash. I think sometime last year or the year before I bought it from Bendy Stitchy. I think she's doing a D-stash. I don't really remember, but because I wouldn't buy this from a shop. So started on the 26th, so Friday, and doing the called for colours. So the blue is a little bit lighter than the hand dyed fabric that's called for, but it's very legible. I mean, the white's showing up pretty good. So that is part 1, and I haven't ironed anything. I haven't had time to iron anything. So yeah. So I mean, I'm a literature. I studied. I mean, I'm a literature fan. I'm a Jane Austen fan. I'm not doing all the Stitchy Book Club ones. Was not interested in the Three Musketeers or Frankenstein. But I like this one, and I probably will stitch the Secret Garden at some stage. But I just need, if I find a nice piece of fabric, like on D-Stash or something. So pretty much this is from Stash. So I just bought the chart, and I had a credit in my PayPal from a couple of coffees that I got bought. So thank you to my coffee buyers. I also do buy coffee, but PayPal obviously I need to use this way. So yeah, so I bought that. It's not a very exciting cover sheet because of course you can't see the design, but so that was a purchase, and I finished for now, so that's ready for the second part. So it's not much stitching, it won't take very long at all. So that was something new that I just felt like starting on a whim. What else did I do? Oh, so I guess I have another start. Let's just do the starts, right? So that was Friday. And that didn't take me very long. And then I decided, because that fabric arrived for the second Oriental Lady, I decided I would start Oriental Lady Grace. So these are like this because I photocopied them from the book. It's quite a big book. So, and again, this is when I did my auditioning for the fabric, which is. So I've got Oriental Lady Grace by Joan Elliot on 32 count Taupo linen from Country Stitch, and I'm using called for DMC. So I started this yesterday. So I did this in the morning, kind of like when I do my housework. I mean, housework sucks. So what I'll do is I'll get up and I'll do some housework, and then I'll go, right, I'll have a cup of tea and I'll sit down, I'll do a bit of stitching, and then I'll do some more housework. So I kind of like, did the bathroom, and then I needed a rest because the bathroom's trauma. I hate doing the bathroom. So that's how I reward myself for doing housework by doing little bits of stitching. So this is gonna not look, this really needed to be, I was just gonna say vacuum. I broke my vacuum cleaner as well. My vacuum cleaner, I think I bought my vacuum cleaner in 2003. So it's quite old. But I had to tape the foot thing onto the pulley thing because where it clicks in, something's worn away in there, and so every time I broke the bloody bit. So my toaster blew up. I got a new toaster being ordered. My toaster's blew up. My fridge is barely working. It like freezes everything, and not the freezer bit. It's really old. I bought that in 2005 secondhand. So my fridges had it. I'm getting a new one. Toaster blew up. I'm getting that. The vacuum cleaner, which is also very old, now has died. I guess that's 3 appliances. So I'm a little bit like annoyed about the appliances. But anyway, we're having an appliance trauma. I need to buy a lawnmower because I'm getting my lawn done soon. It was like, anyway. I don't know why I'm talking about that. Anyway, so I rewarded myself with a new start. So I started on her, so this is her on the Taupo, which is not quite that not quite that blown out. Had to put the lights on, so because it's like nearly night time. It's coming along good. I mean, you can see where I got to, right? Because you can see with your eyes, because you're amazing. So it's looking pretty good. So there she is in her photocopied glory, and already you can see how much more beautiful the colours are in actual DMC on fabric. It's amazing. So I'm very happy with how those kind of tealy greens are showing up, given that they are the colours that are probably the closest to the fabric. Plenty of contrast, or plenty, they stand out. So, because I like to start at the bottom and work up, so I like to do her face last. So that is Oriental Lady Grace, Oriental, and I'll be able to stitch her in March for, is that Asian, Stitch Asian or something? March Asian? I don't really know. But eventually, one day, I'll probably gift these to my niece, who is half Japanese, so my younger stepbrother's my niece Yuki. Yeah, so the three, and then, you know, that will be something I give to her eventually one day when she's older and has somewhere to put them. But in the meantime, I will enjoy them. So those are the two things that I bought. No, they're my two starts. Because, you know, girl just apparently needs more than 10 whips. I'm really working backwards. Also on Friday night, because I finished that flower for the SAL, the Sense and Sensibility, I picked up my Blackwork, my 2021 SAL from Peppermint Purple. I had 3 weeks to stitch, so 6, 7 weeks, 6, 7 and 8 had dropped. And I'm just using the called for on 18 count antique white, stitching at this stage one of the proposed borders. So I got these two, so that's week 6, week 7, and that's week 8. They were all, especially these two were so, that one and this one's so quick, it's all just lovely straight lines. And then I also worked that bit of border. So basically I'm just working a little bit of border. So when I do that square, I'll work a bit more here. When I work, you know, just slowly working my way. So when I work this one, I'll work down, same. So just, because then it's not overwhelming, and it's enough that I can put in like 3 or 4 lengths of black, and then I've made progress and it's not painful. So yeah. It's funny, that looks weird on screen, but when I look at it close, it's not weird, so I don't know what's going on there, whatever. So yeah, a little bit more done. Again, I'll wait for another couple of weeks, and then, not really, yeah, stitch it. Getting it out to stitch one little square, which takes 20 minutes, is a bit annoying, so I just don't do that. So, made that little bit of progress. Now for the pièce de résistance is what I did all of my Sunday and Thursday stitching. When I say I didn't really do much, I picked up my red Deer sampler again. Sorry for the glare, I don't want to take it out of the package because I want to be able to give it away or sell it when I'm done. So, Red Deer Sampler by Gigi on 36 count pumice. I'm going to sneeze, no, from Country Stitch using my own conversion. I think there's 2 called for, and most of it's Victorian Motto. And I stitched quite a lot. You may recall last time that I had the border completed, Now, I don't think these motifs take that much stitching. I got that side done. So that's the work there. So down the bottom there's a gap because that's where I need to chart my name because I don't want to do some random lady's name, I want to do my name. And I did that one on Sunday, and the little swanny thing, and then I did this one on Thursday, and the little thing up there. The colours are very different to what's on the chart. Oh, sorry, the colours are very different to what is on the actual original. I've also made some little changes, which I can't remember, like a couple of things that were not quite, I don't know, one of these had a random different colour somewhere, and I was like, why? I'm okay that the one on the other side has different colours, like that's not the same, it's got some variation. There are stitches in here. It's a really light blue. The real pale blue is, you can see it more in person, it is perhaps a little close to the fabric colour, which I would have called this grey until I stitched pale blue on it, but I quite like the fact that bits of it are very, very light. And when you look at the chart, the equivalent are a pale blue. It's just that the fabric, I think, is browner on this, on the original. But that kind of white colour is, for me, I've got mine's a lot more peachy than that. So yeah, it's I've made a little bit of progress on it. The centre, so what I'm going to do is next time I pick it up, I'm going to move over and I'm going to stitch the other side and get that other side done, and then so I'll have both sides done, which there are subtle differences between these two, and then I'm going to do that big, I'm really looking forward to this big triffid of a plant. I like how random it is in that it's got some of these branches are a completely different shade of green. In fact, the only place one of the greens shows up, and then it has a branch here which is going to be in my palette quite teal. It's awesome. It's like you can go symmetrical and then you can go completely wacky, and I love how it has these symmetrical, still odd, but symmetrical flowers, and then this really wacky triffid of a freaking beastie thing. And then I'll probably do my name, and then I will do the deer, and with the date, I think they have the date up there, so I'm going to have the date in here that I finish it. Down here I'm just going to have my name, I think. And if I have to, yeah, we'll see. It's so much fun. It's not as big as, I mean, it's a decent size, but it's not dense stitching. So I find it really kind of, I don't know, I really like stitching on this, so probably why I can do a big chunk and then go, I'm going to stitch that big ass flower pot. And I can't remember what else I was going to say. Yeah, I really enjoy it. Yeah, so I made quite a lot of progress given that I didn't stitch for 3 days, but I don't know. I don't even know. I didn't think I was going to have anything to show you, and I've had quite a lot to show you. So that is what I stitched on. Up to date with one SAL, well, up to date with 2 SALs, 2 new starts, and a big chunk of progress on my red deer, which is pretty cool. Terrible having 2 new starts, so I'm going to have to push for something to be finished. I'm going to pick up Hoishi Toiti. I want to do a little bit to get that top border finished. So yeah, yeah, I'm going to pick that up this afternoon. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm going to finish this video off, cut a tiny bit off from the beginning where I flapped around with my camera, and get this uploaded. Yeah, thanks for checking in. Thanks for your lovely comments. Thanks for the happy mail. Thank you for buying me a coffee. If you can spare $5, I really appreciate it. I'm likely to have another couple of giveaways coming up. So it does help cover the cost. It helps cover the cost of postage, which is ridiculous. It's expensive. It's not ridiculous. It's got to go on a plane. It's got to go through customs. It's got to go through, like, there's a lot involved in getting you a parcel, right? So I understand why it costs, but it's still expensive. Hopefully in the next week or two I will have a shiny new fridge. I'm just waiting for a fridge to come. I know what fridge I'm getting, and I'm just waiting for it to go on sale so I can get it and not pay retail. It's the fridge that I designed the kitchen for, knowing that my fridge would not last forever. It looks shiny, but it's old and freezes my lettuce, and I can only use 2 shelves in it because otherwise it freezes everything. And it's crooked, it's got a bent chassis, and it's dented. If it wasn't dented and crooked, I think it was the second, I would, get someone to come in and do the seals, but I'd rather just someone buy it and they can sort that out. So yeah, that will be next on the list. And then I guess I'm gonna have to go vacuum cleaner hunting, because my vacuum cleaner is just, again, it's so old, and I need one I need one with a head that picks up hair, because between this mop and me leaving threads, I can't believe where threads get orts. Even though I have an ort container, I still end up with orts all over the house. I need a rotating fibre head thing. Mine doesn't have that, so it's quite a lot of work to get the hair off the carpet, because I seem to shed like I'm a long-haired bloody dog. Anyway, thank you for coming and watching my video, my FLOSSTUBE. I hope everyone keeps safe, finds joy in your stitching, stitch what you want when you want. There aren't really any rules. If you like it, go for it. So yeah, as always, don't let your needles rust. Ciao.